a lot of things to say, but we'll try to keep this brief. I think all of you guys touched on things that I completely agree with. The biggest one is, I should, to touch on my background a little bit. Like, when I first got to Santa Clara, I told myself I wanted to do finance. It's not really knowing what that is. It's just like, I just, because I really want to be successful. So I decided to look up business. And then when I got to Santa Clara, I mean, I think I've always had this sort of entrepreneurial engineering mindset of like, I like to fix things and build things and find efficiencies and, build things and feel proud of my work. And I don't think that was really satisfied in finance. I think I got burned out kind of quickly. It really is like, there's a stereotype that business majors don't do work. But like, if you want to be successful in business, there's a lot of work. I mean, in terms of like, mostly in things that I don't like doing. But yeah, I mean, flashback maybe like 6 or 7 months ago, before I joined Chalkboard. I also joined kind of late with some of you guys. I was like really burned out. I didn't even know what I was like doing. Like, kept getting like rejections from internships and stuff like left and right. And I was like, what am I doing with my life? Where's it's going? And I never really thought that. Like, I've always not been that good of a coder, even though I guess I'm a CS major. And so yeah, I mean, I was just like, I guess maybe we'll try, when I think about like entrepreneurship and see there's any organizations, like student organizations on campus that are kind of focused on startups and stuff. And I remember like just like seeing on like LinkedIn, like Sean like won some like hackathon or something. I was like, I think I reached out to him and I was like, hey, like, are you involving the entrepreneurship stuff on campus? He's like, yeah, come to like Chalkboard. And so, Ops skips in a sub later and we're here. But like, yeah, I mean, the things that Andre said and that was talking to Thalen about, like, what you guys like motivating the crap out of me, like, that's completely true. Because like, I lived in like Swig freshman year, I was just surrounded by kids who all they care about is just like getting drunk and just like the Instagram selfie and like, or debauchery, let's just say. And I've really never really been like that kind of guy. Like, I don't really like to get strict. I find value in like getting better and doing things and building things. And so I think in the business school, like, there's, some really good talent, but I think most of the kids there, like, that are like smart or more focused on just like getting logos on their resume as opposed to actually doing things that are meaningful. And so, being surrounded by Chalkboard is like surrounded by kids that are like actually trying to build things and learn and change the world and get better. And, I guess, like, for a while I used to think like, man, like, I don't have like, I'm, going into my junior year, I don't have like a good internship this summer. Like, what am I going to do? Like, all these kids are going to be making $300K like in 5 years and I'm like going to be broke. Like, now, like, I think I only have to hang out with you guys. I didn't like really care too much because like the fact that I was like learning and like working hard and getting better at like myriad of different things is like where I find like fulfillment in. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like, similar to what we were talking about with Andre, like, in some sense, you don't step in the same string twice, and people can always change and get better if they want to. And I mean, boy, I've changed a lot over the years, and I've just known you guys decently well enough that I can see some of you guys like change. And it's just nice to see like people just getting better. Like, for me, like, I'm a very like, this sounds kind of cringy, but I'm a very like low ego guy. If you guys have like feedback or whatever ways that you think I can improve, like, I'll be all ears. Right now, like, I think I have a pretty good, like, I guess, business mindset, and I really want to get better at like being a better engineer and like learning how to build things on my own. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Oh, I'm next. Yeah, so I know I haven't been here.
Oh, cool.
Okay. So I know I haven't been here for that long. Probably like this is my third or fourth meeting. But I think I want to talk about something a little different, and that's sort of the flip side of like being a founder. I think, as most of you guys know, SubHub is doing pretty well right now. We're going through seed round, we're locking up money, checks left and right. But I've been out of school for about 20 months now, so about 2 years. And honestly, guys, my personal life is like terrible. Like it's like non-existent. It's shit. And I know a lot of you guys are probably still in school, or he just got out of high school, and you're still around your friends and a lot of things like that. But when I left Cal, we immediately moved to Texas, to a place where we didn't know anyone, and I just remember there was this like crushing sort of like void of like loneliness, and so having to get up in the morning and just put out work because we had to. But I think one of the most valuable things, and I really regret not coming here earlier, was just getting to just be around a group of people again who were like my age, and we're not like, because like for context, most general contractors are like in their 50s or in their 40s or in their 60s.
Got to like.
Yeah, they're not the most like it's very cool, like great stories and all these things, but like in the quiet moments, in the moments when you're by yourself, and this is one of those things that I'm still trying to figure out, is like, why the fuck am I doing this? Like, why did I go through so much pain? Why did I leave everybody that I knew to go and start something? And now that I'm approaching the 2-year mark, like, it's setting in even more, and I just really wanted to just say thank you for having people to talk about some of my like technical problems and things like that, and yeah, it's just been a really great experience. I know this is a little more emotional than the rest of you, and so thank.
Bro. I don't know, it's like I can't really follow that very well. But yeah, y'all have been great. I've been very impressed, and I'm very strong-minded, but I think all of you are impressive. So that's pretty good. I've been able to grow a little bit, like personally, on my TikTok. Gaining some more traction, which is nice, but now I'm kind of in the process of like converting that into like brand deals and stuff, and working with people. I've been getting some emails, and just like figuring out how to like make that more of a tangible thing. But I also like, that's not really my goal, because I am bioengineering major, believe it or not. So I'm wanting to like do something more on that side. So well, yeah.
Let's do ads.
I do what? Ads? Am I doing ads?
Don't buy ads.
I can do
Is that your target audience? AI is on the puppies. Like Jantic and support. Voting.
See what I can do.
Hanyan. Use Hanyan.
Use the what?
Hanyan Pro. Look it up. It'll make your ads for you. But Hanyan's Pro.
Replacing my job.
Commission.
But yeah, and then the seniors will definitely be missed.
Yeah. Seniors better stand there.
Seniors better come back.
Like a PhD program, bro.
I'll be coming back on it once in a while.
Oops.
Where's the actual be? Indiana, Purdue.
Move the 2 package.
Oh,
move the ball away.
Sorry.
What if I want the membership back?
Yeah.
For a bit.
That's the brand deal we're working on.
Actually,
Yeah.
I wanted to add bonus skin.
That would be great.
What did I say? The poops.
Go. Good. I'd start my.
What am I getting this
Yeah.
for? Just say
That
shit.
poor guy.
Oh, yo, what's good?
No. It's not bad for. It's like
You're fine.
everyone.
Reflections?
Introduce yourself.
Cool.
Who you are.
I'm Zakong, 18, just graduated high school like a week or two ago, here in SF for ODF, which is kind of like Z Fellows, but more people. Right now, we're building an AI mentor that texts you the right information at the right time, and we have 5K on the wait list, so that's cool. Biggest reflection this year is, A, I'm a big dumbass and I need to be more technical, and 2, growth is really important, so we're going to need to crack distribution in the future. So that's that.
So you have this one debt.
Yeah, I'll do.
One debt, sorry.
Yeah.
1 year ago, I created my first startup and gone through that channel trying to find out what startup was the best for me. And then over the summer, I dove into it, and then the next year tried to attack it more and more, but had some pretty big problems with program involved. And that was the foundation of Chalkboard, when like at the start of the year. And going a little back, this is not necessarily in a time straight manner. I've always wanted to find a community of extreme builders, inquisitive people, wanting to do awesome shit in very different industries and sectors that are all interested in each other. And I feel like this is that thing that I've been trying to find. But it's a little bit different. I'm really, really happy to have found this and found these people, and also the source of these people. It's really difficult to find that, and I see really cool things happening. But going back, I had the startup, but then I was trying to find out what are the VC stuff do I want to do as a finance major. Do I want to try and utilize that to get into the larger capital allocation space, so that I'm not stuck in one field that might screw me over if interest rates are too high or something of that sort. And then I went a little more forwards to this winter and was looking at how Chalkboard, got very captivated by the Chalkboard potential, seemingly aligned with my growth, and then also made a big mistake of communicating incorrectly and having that big problem, which I think some of y'all know about. And then over the past time, I was trying to find out what that thing is that I really want to dive deeper into. And I feel like that's the core, most important thing that I've had. Is I've had so many freaking startups, and they've done some interesting stuff, but nothing that is truly, it'll take up the next 10 years, 20 years of my life that I am so incredibly infatuated by. I think Maxine said this thing, where if you just specialize and focus for a long period of time, holy freaking shit, some crazy stuff can happen. And I need that to happen, and I'm so infuriated with not having that. And I'm trying to build up this new venture that I have, trying to put everything together with a new finance research lab that I'm working on putting together, and hopefully that'll be the way. But I 100% agree that finding that one thing, that's my whole goal for the future, is having that one thing that I can just dive 100% into and just do nothing else, and drop all my other clubs, everything, and just dive into. And I think from that we'll create some freaking crazy stuff. And I think that if we all do that, that'll be huge, while also understanding that the different stakeholders at the table. But that's not something that's concise or correctly said. Maybe Andre is holy shit, what is this guy doing? Better communicate. But that's what I want to do, and that's what I feel like has aligned this all timing-wise to be in that position to do that. And I also want this to not stop at the end of the school year. I think that that's when it truly begins. That's when we're able to put in those 100-hour work weeks. So I don't think that it's something that stops then. I also don't think it's something that stops when you graduate. This is me being biased, but I think that we're all aligned, and our journey is at this particular point, and will be aligned for a long, long time, if not the rest of our lives. So that's not anything that's worded right, but I think something is there, it's an underlying thread that is important.
Yes, I don't have much to say, but I just want to thank Sean for inviting me to the first one. It really came out of the AI Summit. I've always enjoyed coming back to campus for the senior design conferences. It was really cool to see what students are working on and to provide some off the top of my head feedback. But what you guys have going on here, I think it kind of goes without saying, it's pretty special. So my initial concern with being the old guy in the room was that people would change or watch what they were saying or something, but I don't think that's happened. So thanks for allowing me to listen and learn from you guys. I mean, I feel a little guilty because I think I've taken more knowledge away from here than I've imparted to you guys. But if there's anything I can help out with, or if anybody that I'm connected to on LinkedIn or otherwise can help with, you see someone interesting in a field you want to talk to, reach out. I mean, all can do is try. So thanks everyone.
I was expecting Sean gonna give me the microphone. So I just met him at San Francisco this morning. It was an accident, but nice to meet you. So, so communication is always my worst part, and I'm trying my best to deliver my story really briefly. So the moment I decided to take gap year, like 2 years ago, I thought there would be a gigantic change over the gap year. I will be able to grow. I will be able to like pursue my passion and make it as a real business or whatever. But then I realized that like if you are alone, even entrepreneurship is always alone. But if you don't have that right environments, it's really hard to just like go like 100% every day. Your energy is like kind of fading away. So after a year, even like I tried to do a lot of volunteers. I went around the world and explore and do volunteer stuff. I feel like my heart is really empty. Like I didn't really truly get something I really want. And the moment I get accepted to Santa Clara University, I know that this is the moment that I could change my life. And not until that I've been officially brought to Chalkboard, I met all of you guys. I never realized that I would like change that much from very small change, like going on a run with people like Ryan. We went on a run in the morning, 6 a.m. in the morning. That would never happen if it's just me. Just like if you have people to follow you alone. And as big as like changing a major, I was originally going to pursue finance, but then I met those people who are doing so much tech, and I just realized that if you're at Silicon Valley and like if you could do tech, and of course I'm like so intrigued, like so curious about all those technologies, specifically on AI automation, and I'm super non-technical. So Max and Andre keep saying like they're so proud of me of like getting more technical, and I'm so glad that I could learn more technical stuff as well. So I guess it's just like the year reflection is to be able to surround myself with so many entrepreneurs, and those entrepreneurs that truly make a difference, that not only they have a clear goal in their future, but they also know that like it's not just a group of friends, but it's more like a family, a community that people could connect together so deeply and gonna to make something really big in the future. So I really appreciate each of you guys here. Yep. That's the longest one I ever said.
I think you guys. Wait, first of all, does anyone have like stuff they have to go, like leave?
I've seen before 7, but
Before 7? I think I know there's 3 people here that needs to go before 7.
I have a lot of work, but if it's stuff.
Yeah, so
Let's try to
condense.
I think a couple questions we need to really kind of like reflect on. Kind of, if you are new, I think, what did you enjoy? What did you not? What do you hope to see more? 2, also like what the fuck are we? Is it okay not knowing who we are?
A fro.
I like a
Cult that end.
3, also, how do we, I guess, like create more growth with each other together, and what are, I guess, like some aspects where like we just felt ourselves grow as much, and how do we create those experiences? And then 4, what are we gonna do together in the summer, if anything at all? And then 5, what does it mean for, I think, seniors who are graduating? How do we stay connected? Figure that.
Yeah, talk. I think resources is the number one driver. I think we all are pretty early adopters of new tech, like every single day, that comes out as well. I think if we either use Slack or WhatsApp or messages, whatever like medium of communication works best, but everybody just dumps kind of their, I guess, like shit they use, could be very helpful. I know that, like I didn't hear about Notion until Maxine told me what the fuck it was. I was actually, I genuinely had zero idea. I was like literally a baby just dumped out in the real world, and I was just like, just using chat. I didn't know the different models. I didn't know what Claude Code was until Sean pointed this out. I didn't know anything. And so being like part of Chalkboard as well exposed me to those resources. So now I can actually, understand what tools are best for me, for what purpose, etc. I think that's one of the most valuable things that especially can be offered with the seniors who are leaving as well. It's what resources you are going to have in your personal lives as well. And that's also, what kind of insight you guys can share for your work that you do. So for example, if you're going into, agricultural engineering, I know nothing about it. I won't ever need to know anything about it at the moment, but I might need to know later down the line. And nonetheless, it's really interesting because it also allows you to have that open mind and, different perspectives as well. For example, I could use some practical thing for an agricultural engineer to solve the real large problem for honest. So that's probably something that could be used.
I think one thing we have to be very conscious of is that we're at Santa Clara University and we're all entrepreneurs, and we're not getting the kind of recognition that we would get if we were at Stanford, Berkeley, or Harvard, MIT to a certain extent. And that the amount of talent here, like I keep on seeing things on like LinkedIn or whatever, or Twitter, and it's like some like great person from Yale raising millions of dollars off like an idea that you're working on right now.
Somewhere.
Yeah, it's like, what was the idea you're working on right now?
AI mentor that texts you to write them right.
Yeah, so there's
With them a while ago.
huh?
We had a spat with them.
Yeah.
So there's other guys who asked like on LinkedIn. Yeah.
So those guys are really a similar thing, right? And I think that we need to acknowledge that and figure out how to work around that and actually use that to our advantage. There are sources of capital here, but they don't have the same kind of conviction that sources of capital at Yale or Harvard have with their entrepreneurs. And that is a disadvantage for us. We need to figure out how to make it not a disadvantage. Yeah.
Isn't that a way then, just essentially, because Yale is almost like a name tag, kind of like a brand.
Yeah.
So are we then trying to make Chalkboard our brand, potentially? Having it like a YC contact, it's a level of prestige.
So that goes with another question that Sean brought up. Is like, what is Chalkboard? I think Chalkboard is a good meeting of the minds, and where people can like who are have like in a similar trajectory can like meet each other and network. And I think if you impose too much structure on it, it becomes a company. And there's a reason why none of us are working at the other person's company. It's because we all want to build our own thing. And if we all want to build our own thing, that means we have a certain personality type that doesn't do well with structure, or at least someone else's structure. So I think we need to acknowledge the kind of people we are and keep Chalkboard flexible enough where we can have healthy and productive relationships with each other. And out of those healthy and productive relationships, if something symbiotic emerges, that's great. And I think that's also something we should explore. Like if let's say if Chalkboard were to build a company, it shouldn't be Chalkboard. It should be a separate entity that's not related to Chalkboard, but just happens to have all the people in Chalkboard. All right? So that way you don't build antagonistic tension between the members. That's fine. So, sorry. Yeah. Agreed on a lot. I think a lot of things. One thing I think you're mentioning of the symbiotic relationships was really good. I think the first kind of like symbiotic relationship we had here was I think between me, Maxine, Andre, and Raj. When we first went to like the NVIDIA hackathons together, and then now all of us have a GPU each. And then I know that like, there's always kind of like, micro symbiotic, stuff kind of like going around in this like larger organization where with everyone just have like relationships with each other. I think we should really think about how to like continue kind of fostering these things. For us, it was like the build session, right? Because we were just like there every Sunday working on shit, and then we start like talking, and someone's like, there's this hackathon, do you want to go together, right? yeah, but got it's the right cut. I'll have it real quick.
Sure, like maybe like what you're gonna pitch that we can close to what I'm gonna say, so I can start if you want to like change that.
Okay, just quick thing. Okay. We need to start being comfortable being uncomfortable with each other and start like confronting each other actually at a deeper level.
We need knowledge.
Yep.
I don't know.
Do you think that a lot of the things that
Like I think I could get a lot more flack for sure, but that's a different question. But what I'm saying is, like maybe we should. That's not what I want. What I'm saying is, we need to like argue with each other every day and be like, dude, like what if we say let's build one company and then we actually fight about it? Like we just think about building one company. Anyway, yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, so it's actually I was not gonna say that.
Just how the pick up on you.
Yeah, no, I think that you're touching a really important question about what is Chalkboard, and I think it can really be something that can help a lot of the people. I mean, I've heard Ryan about saying like about wanting you to specialize and stuff, and I think it's kind of like true. And I think like Andre also touched on just what I'm gonna say, which is like if in the end you're the person like if you look at your group of people, you're like the average. And if you want to like do something, I think it's kind of like stupid to just like get started like that if you're in the wrong like mindset, and it's better to just like change social circle first to like put you in the right mindset and then like get started and make sure that you do it right, because you're just gonna get so much from the other people. And I think Chalkboard is like really doing that, and it's a thumbs thing that's kind of like why accelerators are working well. Because when you look at it, like accelerators are not helping you building companies. Like they're helping you selling companies, which I think is completely stupid. Like they're not really helping you like actually solving the problems that you're gonna face as an entrepreneur. And the only thing that helps that is the other entrepreneurs, the other people that are gonna face the same problem that can just sort of like help each other. And that's why the accelerators they work, because they kind of just like take like entrepreneurs from like a lot of places and just put them together. Even though they don't help, like the fact that they do that, it helps, right? And I think Chalkboard is sort of doing that. And the build session, I think, is sort of like one of the really big pillars that can be helpful. And at Santa Clara, there's like no space. Like if you just want to, like if it's like if I don't have class, like where do I go to just like meet other entrepreneurs? Like that will be here, and that will be able to like talk 24/7, just like building stuff and just like putting you in the right like social mindset where you just can just build. Which is something you find like hackathon, you find like a lot of places actually just like go to any WeWork pretty much. Like it's just that. And I think this is something that Chalkboard really like is could be about, and could really help just like help people or specialize, solve problem, and build stuff. And that's also something that could also solve the question about like, oh, what do the senior become, right? Because I'm a senior, I'm graduating, and I still want to be around, you know. Like because I think a lot of what you guys are doing are cool or amazing, and I think that just having like a good group of people that can help each other about actually launching something and getting users and everything could like be extremely beneficial.
Right. I agree with that, and I think that Chalkboard is not necessarily just these meetings or not necessarily a build session, but it's everyone building things or like having these discussions and talking or working on stuff together in Graham or other random stuff of that sort. I think we should like really try and catch that and hold it and embrace it, because I personally that's what I think the strongest thing that the Chalkboard is outside of Chalkboard is the Chalkboard. That's just a personal opinion.
Steve?
I'm gonna tip in like 5 minutes.
I was also gonna say I think I highly resonate with that. I think a lot of the people in this room have become my very close friends, and actually my close like circle of friends outside of the Chalkboard meeting especially. And I think that's another constant growth factor, where you're always like surrounding yourself with these people, where you're able to, you know, have your business like discussions of entrepreneurship, you know, the hardship of entrepreneurship, you know, the lonely journey that you were talking about, and then also being able to have the same people who know how fucking tough it is to go through it alone, that can be there to support you outside of it as well. You know, having Benson dinners, lunches, off campus, fun events, like anything that you're doing outside as well, that's the main pillar, I think, of solidifying your relationship with these people and then allowing, for constant growth. And I think that aspect alone actually drives more willingness to help each other out as well. Because you're not only looking at the people within Chalkboard as founders, you're actually looking at them as your true close friends. And the core thing behind true close friends is you always want to see them succeed before you succeed. And that will always be the case with explosive growth as well. I think that's something that I very much value with Chalkboard.
Yeah, can you help with 5 cents? I'll be honest, guys. As I see Chalkboard now, I won't intervene. We're doing well. As simple as that. We're expanding. Yes, we're expanding slowly. We're expanding with high policy. I'm fine. So I would say I won't have large intervention. The only case how we connect with seniors.
Communication in general.
Yeah,
I think.
There's the technology for it.
Yeah.
I'm such.
Something that's not small. Can I have bubble?
How small kind of dive into what are you doing next?
They can.
I know it.
Just.
I'll probably be an SF.
Yeah.
I'll probably be an SF.
You'll be an SF. Do you know what you'll... Sorry, that's a horrible question probably for you right now, actually.
Yeah, go ahead.
You'll be an adult. But okay, in SF.
I have a question. Does it matter where we're gonna be?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would assume so.
Talk up.
To come in.
Because Arthur can maybe take the train up.
Yeah.
I have a car.
No, in person's always good. I'm just thinking,
Yeah. I think it doesn't matter. We'll stay in contact with you regardless, but I think it matters in the sense of how.
Yeah. No, I think definitely having, points of contact, tradition, building, cycle is always good. Leaving resources behind is also good, and then, I'd say just tradition, building.
Alumni donation.
Michael?
I think someone else had their hand up. Do that work. But I think
First guy.
Sorry. I think I recently also came into this group, but I think I somewhat want to push back against keeping things the same, because I wonder if there's a lot of potential in us pushing each other further. We come up with lots of great discussion, but I wonder if there's a possibility for us to push each other to achieve more than what we are currently achieving,
Dude, you should.
And as well as shame. Well, because you also brought up the point, we're not Yale, we're not Stanford. I wonder if we can push each other. No, it's not only an advertisement thing, it's also mentality, and I wonder if we can also push each other to achieve that or better,
And just to bounce on that, do you guys know about, it says aimed at nothing anymore, but do you guys heard
I've been to Bill Space in SF. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like this kind of thing. I think Chalkboard could be not in the sense that I agree with we shouldn't be changing much. I think this is working perfectly right now, and that's great. But more of just the fact that putting founders together, putting people either in a room or in a virtual group chat, doesn't have to be in presence or whatever, because people can be moving, etc. It's just insanely beneficial. Just being able to on group chats when you go into tough times, when you have what happens when you have your first customer, how do you handle that, this kind of things, just be able to ask for help, or just on a group chat or to other founders that would just be here always. I think this is why communication could be potentially improved. And if there's only one thing to change with Chalkboard, because I would not change much, is just the communication way.
I'm gonna head out, so I just want to say to them really quick. Ignore how utilitarian it sounds, but basically what I'm thinking is really, for me at least, after college, right, I have a ton of ideas that I want to get done, and I kind of am going to need a guy for everything. And I think really having this network that we've built, this community, it's going to constantly grow, and all of you have really high standards. You guys are all really high quality people, and I know that I can always have you guys in my back pocket. Hey, I need a guy for this. I know exactly who to talk to. It gives us like the utilitarian version of this is just, you guys are an efficient router for reaching good talent. And you guys keep on growing and getting better. You guys keep on evolving and growing and expanding, bringing new talent and bringing them up. And I think really it's an incubator. It's an engine for just getting out raw, great people. So that's kind of my take.
So we're back to the second meeting when you called me an LLM. That sentence.
Maxime called you a O3 Pro or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
Did I upgrade Maxime? What am I now?
Yeah, right.
You're right now. But I think something that is really important and has a big impact. I think something that has a big impact on us right now is, what does the summer look like? I think that the summer is actually the biggest impact on Chalkboard than any time that we have had, because we all have over 100 hours a week to be able to dive into this and don't have distractions of school. School is sometimes helpful in some contexts, but I think that this is the most important thing, which means I truly believe that we should have weekly meetings, the same, maybe even more, or some other structures. I think we should have online accessibility. I think that we should have possible groups. If a lot of people are in one city and a lot of people are in another city, have like in-person meetups for that. I think that definitely in the Bay Area, I know a lot of people here are saying in the Bay Area should have meetings. I think that it's super important because this is really helpful, and because this is the biggest opportunity for us to truly freaking dive in without any distractions, just to our work. And I think that's why we should actually continue stuff. Not just continue, but even more than continue over this next summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to put a picture before? Sorry.
A picture?
Yeah, because this might be the last time.
I'll be available next week.
Okay.
Everybody else around?
Yeah, I'll just pick. Alright. One logistical thing. Okay. This house.
You guys see
This house is a valuable asset that the school might actually lose control over by the next year. Wait, hold on. Sorry, but like I have an office in the back. I'm keeping that bitch for another year. All right, but that little fucking nooks cranny like mousetrap over there. I got me and Yash over there, right? That means there's 2 offices there. That means here there can be 1, 2, 3, 4 offices. 1, 2, 3, 4 offices. 1, 2, 3, 4 offices. So there could be 16 people working in this fucking house every day. Now, wait. Now hear me out. Sean, you're a big leader. Like you got all these like higher ups listening to you. So I think what you should do is this has got to be like the Chalkboard house or something like that. Maybe don't present it like that, but figure something out where all the Chalkboard entrepreneurs come here and work every day. Yep.
And that's another thing. It's like the only one rule I gotta say is you gotta shut the fuck up and not make noise. But other than that, like it's a free.
Don't clog the toilet.
Yeah, don't clog the
Students.
I don't get how like what's that to it.
Yeah.
That's something.
I had a suggestion for that specific actually. There is a house that is actually Lucas Omelets right now that is going to be up for rent that I have been trying to push on people because I know the landlord. And this house is freaking massive. Like it would genuinely be perfect for this. Now, it's a little bit off campus, but it has like a good amount of like big bedrooms, and then you could use that as like a Chalkboard house, right? Like it has a huge living room that you could all put your desks in, like yeah, yes, it's the one
You're going to be living there and paying.
well, not me, but some of y'all.
Just
I have my own house.
It's subsidized.
That's cool. There are a couple of things I want to say. I think one for Chalkboard growth, like very important. Sorry, should you finish?
Oh yeah.
Okay. One for like Chalkboard growth. Maxim, for Chalkboard growth, it's super important to have like a devil's advocate. I can't stress enough how much PayPal Mafia had that. It's someone who always challenges the kind of thoughts, beliefs, ideas. No, but honestly, even more radical than that. And it's someone whose sole purpose in that meeting, no matter how much you physically and like psychologically agree with this, you have to disagree. It's just like no matter what your personal opinions are. And the strength of that is when you start focusing on why is this bad versus why is this good. Why is this good is always confirmation bias. You're always going to find reasons. You're always going to find things, Ryan, of like why something is good, or you always want to make excuses for yourself of like, oh, it's fine, this is great. But having that edge of being like, why the fuck is this like idea horrible? Or like, what is in my skill set that is going to like limit me and limit my capabilities of executing certain tasks. That's one. Two, Chalkboard office as well. I was thinking about this. Potentially either a house on campus, later down the line, like 5-10 years or whatever, somewhere in SF could be great as well for all like in the Bay Area. Then three, potentially for the seniors, is having a designated time of year to have like a long weekend of like a 3-day Chalkboard retreat where everybody, no matter where you are geographically, you all kind of go there. No work is done and you all just catch up as like friends. You can fucking surf, whatever. It can be at like a lake house or whatever. I think that's the number one thing that's also super good. YC does it at the start of their batch as well to meet all the people from the batch, all the founders, all the partners. And I think you can definitely like mentally reset and align you as well so that you have that, designated time frame. So that's kind of good.
Yeah, firstly, I sort of agree with Andrew's idea, and Andrew, you can play the role of devil's advocate yourself. Though I want to make one important point. There is no ideal project, there is no ideal idea, not at all, it's not even close. Whisper had a lot of, let's say, there were a lot of people like saying like, oh, what the fuck you're doing? Telegram bot? And I think also you guys, you had the same perception when I first time presented it, I assume. And we have a decent result set. And if I would like sort of listen to those people, there would be no whisper. So I would say yes, but to a certain extent. But like there's always, let's say, a limit. If you listen to every possible comment, and especially if people force you, like let's say 6 people sitting and like, oh yeah, that's shit, due to the following reasons, you won't get it done. I would recommend more.
No, I think
what do you think?
Sorry, just
Yeah, I would recommend more to attempt. Even this can be shitty idea, like as shitty as possible. Attempt. Yeah, you can continue to open a you're dumbass, but make an attempt. Whatever can happen. Yes, okay.
Saying like being the devil's advocate doesn't mean that saying all your shit for the wrong reasons. It's almost challenging the way that you see your product into ways that could make it even better. So for example, it's not saying that, oh, Whisper, it's only a Telegram bot, you're limiting yourself. It's being like, okay, it's a Telegram bot, so you have a limited market, how can you later potentially pivot and expand, which is what you're trying to do with, let's say, WhatsApp and other things too.
I think this is reasonable and logical.
I think, a good way to execute this idea, Andre, is to have a symbol, right? It's a symbol for this. What are you doing? Where's my nut? I don't know, I lost my nut. But, what is my nut? Anyway, give an object that basically gives them the pass.
I see what you mean, yes.
What the fuck?
I see what you mean, yes.
The devil's pass.
And you have a response from that?
I don't want to wear a hat, I don't want to like some shit, but some kind of pass to say whatever the fuck. Like, be a
just...
Yes, we don't want you to get to court. Okay.
You're on camera, you're saying that you should have a gun, candles.
I don't know where my knife went. Anyway, oh, here it is. Yeah, like, just hold the object and that allows you to be critical.
What the fuck are you saying?
When you're saying things, people get angry. I think it's fun. I don't know, but like, have an object and you can be critical as possible. Oh, I actually have an idea if I tell
That's what they do in AI, they make it hold more alcohol.
I'm kidding.
And shit. Listening carefully.
And I think we should all definitely work in this house next year. Yeah, I just don't want the like guy who suppresses emotion to like hold the knife and suddenly the emotions appear again.
But you don't have emotions in the first place, and so it's fine.
Yeah, in fact, it's a skill issue, I think.
I'm gonna be heading out, but I want to say like one last thing before I go, which is I definitely think Chalkboard is an impressive group with impressive accomplishments and a great group of people. But I would say what impresses me about it is its potential and its ability to, start something and then progress from there. And so definitely, I'm not suggesting that people are, but just to reinforce, don't get complacent, keep pushing forward, keep trying to make progress. Not to call like anyone out, but it's just because I don't know like as much about their operations, but I think each individual like member should definitely think a lot about what are they doing sort of day to day, moment to moment. So like I haven't heard as much from Thalen or Bella about like what projects they're pursuing. And I'm I'm sure that there are, but it's just everyone needs to think about, to have that presence of mind, because it's easy to sort of let that slip. Again, not that everyone isn't working hard. And if we, keep doing that and keep on it, then I think, there's only upward from here to go. And I think that that's a very, we're in a very good position in that sense.
But yeah, so far we're still.
So yeah, worth one. But yeah, so far we're still mediocre. So.
I gotta run, guys. Please, take care.
I'm gonna go as well.
Real quick updates. NVIDIA AI's official account shouted us out with the GPU pick.
Oh yeah,
Let's go get it.
What's the response to that gonna be? How are you gonna utilize that?